What is up, Gemini? How y'all doing? It's time to go ahead and see what's happening for you guys in February. Hang on just a second. All right, Gemini, what's up, y'all? Time to see what's going on in February 2025. I'm still not used to saying 2025 yet. I was kind of hoping that after I got done with all the January stuff, it would start to kind of flow a little bit more naturally. No, it still feels weird as hell saying 2025. All right, well, without further ado, for those of you who are in need of a personal reading, you can find all the information right down there in the description of this video. All right. All right, let's see. First, oh shit, how did I start these off? Now I don't even remember. How did I start off February? I'm pretty sure it's just, let's see what's going on between the singles and your love interest. Single Geminis and the person that you're interested in. What's happening in February? Anything good happening? Anything good happening between single Geminis and their love interest? Woo, we got communication. Okay, well, I would kind of hope that most of you would already be in communication with this person. So, I don't think communication's going away. Some of you dealing with an air sign, possibly. Uh-oh, the Sun card reverse, though. There's that karmic wheel. Okay, so you and this person absolutely have some karma that you're supposed to be working out in this lifetime. Wow, 2 of my karma cards came out in the same spread. So far, though, it's kind of looking to me like this is just making you a little bit nervous. You're not really all that happy with where this connection is going. You're having a battle between your ego and your intuition. You can't really tell what your ego is telling you versus what your intuition is telling you. Having a hard time deciphering that. You can't really tell if this person's actually into you or if they're playing games with you, or maybe if they have more feelings than they're letting on. You're struggling with that. Man, it's a real strong ass connection, though. Some of you may actually be seriously contemplating whether or not this is your actual person. Starting to kind of wonder that. But Hangman, it doesn't really look like this is moving very quick. I ain't gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Some of you dealing with a Cancer, could be a fellow Gemini, but I think that's your energy there. Also got Leo here. All right. There could be a third party in the mix, or some of you could suspect that there's a third party. All right, well, let's see how this person actually feels about you then. How's this person actually feel about Gemini? What are their true thoughts, feelings, and opinions? Hopes, dreams, and expectations? Damn, 3 of Swords again. So there very well may be another energy involved. Let's put it that way. Now, the 6 of Cups came out in the first spread there, but I'm going to hold back on talking about that and see what else wants to come through. Wow. Okay. I think, honestly, this person just doesn't want to be alone, is what this feels like to me. Yeah. Huh. So they do feel an abnormally strong connection with you, but this is just that energy where somebody just doesn't want to be alone, you know? And when somebody doesn't want to be alone, they have a tendency to make everybody they talk to or anybody they could potentially connect with, they want to make them feel really special, you know? Because they just don't want to feel alone. They don't want to be alone. So if they could possibly bring you into their life. So, but then they don't know what they want. They're very guarded at the same time. Sometimes they throw their guard up. Sometimes they let their guard down. Six, there it is again. There it is again. I think this person, and somehow, some way, is very hung up on somebody from their past. I can't really tell if they're actively trying to reconcile with someone from their past or if they're just not over it, if they're still just hung up on them and missing them and whatnot, you know. Very, very heavy past energy for that same card to come out twice in a row, 2 different decks. The signs I have on the table here: Aquarius, Sagittarius, and Virgo. Oh, there's Leo again, Sun card reversed. Again, a lot of these same cards keep coming out. All right, let's get the advice on this. What's the advice? What's the advice on this situation? Gemini and their love interest. Ooh, this is saying don't ignore the red flags. 8 of Swords reversed comes out as advice. That means don't ignore the red flags. Okay, but the 6 of Pentacles. So don't ignore the red flags, but that doesn't necessarily mean run from them. At some point, especially if this is somebody that you're like talking to, and you know, it's kind of known that there's an interest here, that we're experimenting on seeing where this could go. You want to start bringing the red flags to light. Let it be known that you noticed that little inconsistency. You know, if they say one thing one day, another thing another day, let it be known that you saw that, right? Let it be known that you're paying attention. That can go a long way in the beginning, a real long way. Because most people do one or two things with red flags. They either ignore it and stuff it under the rug, or they run. When maybe if we would have just talked about it like mature adults in the beginning, maybe we could have worked through it and put that little red flag behind us. You know, there's so many different reasons why that red flag could be there, but you want to let it be known that you're watching. Shine light on the red flag in the beginning. And hopefully if this person is interested enough in having you in their life, if they're interested enough, then whatever those little red flags and inconsistencies are there in the beginning, they'll hopefully straighten that shit up and start walking a tighter line, right? So, but just don't push too hard. Don't push too hard. If you want to point out a red flag, don't get a nasty attitude about it, you know, because pushing a little too hard there in the beginning, you know, it could go south and come out sideways. So there's still a little bit of potential here, but you want to put forth a little bit more action. Just a little bit. A little bit. All right. Now let's see what's happening with the Geminis who are currently in a long-term relationship. If you're not in a long-term relationship, this is not for you. If you are in a long-term relationship, but the two of you are not experiencing any problems, this is not for you. What is happening with Gemini and the current long-term partner? What's happening? Ooh, 3 of Wands reversed. Oh man, the World card reversed always comes out in the fucking current person readings, dude. Some of you dealing with a Sagittarius, possibly. Okay, so first of all, 6 of Cups reversed, which is the accumulation of all of the issues you all have had in the past after having never processed through any of those problems, right? So for example, let's say we get into an argument today. All right. Well, we don't do anything about it. We just stuff it under the rug and keep going. Well, that energy don't go nowhere. Ever. There's still a nasty, nasty cloud of energy weighing us down after that argument, even if we pretend that we don't see it. And then that energy is going to manifest itself again. And it's just going to keep adding to it and adding to it and adding to it and getting heavier and heavier and heavier between us. And over enough time, that fucking energetic cloud can be weighing on you so heavily that it can be very difficult, if not impossible, to work through. So you all are just repeating a cycle, repeating the same cycle, and you're trying to be patient, not really 100% sure what to do, still debating on whether or not it's worth working on. You don't know if you're wasting your time. So I think you're kind of trying to stay strong and hang in there. Plus, when it comes to starting over and starting new, I think you're a little bit afraid to take that leap of faith out into the unknown, you know? So, okay. All right, well, let's see how the current long-term partner feels about you. How's the current long-term partner feel about Gemini? Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Ooh, High Priestess reversed. They miss what you all had back in the day. Yeah, they miss the way it was back in the day. But now they honestly don't quite feel as strong of a connection with you now as they did back in the day. But they don't want this to come to an end. They really don't. They wish things could go back to the way they used to be. But, you know, things don't just go back to the way they were. They can, if both of us are working towards that. But we're not just going to wake up one day and everything goes back to the way it was 5 years ago, you know. We have to work towards that together. They don't want to walk away from this, though, at the end of the day. They don't want this to end. They don't want to walk away. Okay. All right. Some of you dealing with a Scorpio. Also have Cancer here. Well, let's get the advice. What is the advice for Gemini in the current long-term relationship? What's the advice? Oh, 7 of Cups. 5 of Cups reversed. Ah, there it is too. Okay. All right. Let me see how I can work this out so that we can meet in the middle. Maybe you all have already done this. Maybe you have. But we need to sit down and have a conversation. Okay? I need to hear you out. You need to hear me out. I need to sit and completely listen to every one of your concerns. You need to sit and listen to every one of my concerns. And we both need to be actively working on the things we need to work on within ourselves. That has to happen. Has to. If that's not happening, if you're not seeing progress over time, it's not going to. It's not going to. I'm not saying that after one conversation, everything should go back to the way it was back in the day. But you should see me actively working on the things that I need to work on. And I should see you actively working on the shit that you need to be working on. If either of us ain't doing that, or especially if either of us thinks that we ain't got nothing that we need to work on, it ain't never gonna work. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your sign is. If you think you ain't got nothing you need to work on, oh, you are the problem, I promise you. Anybody on this earth thinks they ain't got nothing they need to work on. That's the problem right there. Again, maybe you all have already done that. I have a feeling that maybe a lot of you have already tried that. You've already had that conversation. If you've already been around, looping around that cycle, had that conversation, been there, done that, bought the beer koozie and a t-shirt, nothing's going to change. All right. Okie dokie. Now let's see what's happening between Gemini and the person from the past. If you're not here inquiring about somebody from your past, this is not for you. What's happening between Gemini and the person from the past? Knight of Wands reversed. Some of you dealt with a fire sign, possibly. Hangman reversed. King of Cups reversed. It almost kind of feels like it's getting to the point where you're not even really waiting on him anymore. Kind of what it feels like. Some of you may have just been waiting on this person for so long, and I don't know if you're intentionally turning your back on this or if you're just over it. But it just kind of tells me that ain't a whole lot of nothing happening here. And if it remains silent throughout the remainder of February, you know, by the time we get into Pisces season, March rolls around, you're pretty much just letting go. You may not even be realizing it. You're just preoccupied with something else. You ain't even think about it. It just kind of feels like February is the month where you're just not even waiting on this person no more. Plus, we got these kings in the reverse here. I'm not going to go into this just yet. Let's see what their feelings and intentions are first. Let's see the person from the past and their feelings and intentions. Past person's true feelings and intentions. Hey, Knight of Cups. Hang on. Okay. They don't really know how to approach you. They don't know how to approach you. So their number one goal this whole time has been to just desperately find a new relationship as quickly as possible. They've just been out there searching around because they're heartbroken. Whatever it was that happened between the two of you hurt a lot more than they're letting on. Or if you're dealing with somebody that left you, maybe they ended up regretting that. And they're just trying to find somebody new as quick and fast as they can to distract them from whatever heartbreak they're feeling. So, kind of just looks like at the end of the day, they're just trying to block your memory out, is what this looks like. Trying to block it out, forget about it, you know. They still feel a real strong connection with you. That's why they're trying so quick to jump into a new relationship. Okay. Okay. Well, man, we keep getting the outcome in the first spread. Let's grab that advice then. Let's see. What's the best advice for Gemini? Would it be a good idea to reach out? Or what? What's the advice here? What is the advice? Ooh, King of Wands. A decision needs to be made, one way or the other. Let's see if I can get some energy on both decisions. Hang on. All right. Okay. All right. Well, a decision needs to be made one way or the other. Either I'm going to reconnect with this person or I'm not. No more hanging around and waiting. No more of that. A decision needs to be made. If you decide that you're going to reconnect with this person, just know that they're probably going to act really fucking awkward and weird if you approach them. They're probably not going to be waiting with open arms to welcome you back into their life, even though they do feel a really strong connection with you. They're probably going to act awkward, weird, maybe a little bit closed off, and it could potentially create a very frustrating situation that you would need to be very, very patient with if you want this to go anywhere. Now, I'm not here to tell you whether you should or shouldn't do that. All I can tell you is if it was me, I wouldn't. That doesn't mean that I'm right and you're wrong. We all see things differently. This kind of energy here with somebody from the past, I wouldn't fuck with it. That's just me. That's just me, because with a situation like this, with this energy, we'd be looking at probably a good 3 to 6 months at most, a month at the least, of just kind of hanging in the limbo, keeping communication going, the person acting weird and strange and shady, and before, and hey, I may end up just completely wasting my time with you. So me personally, I wouldn't. But if you choose to, that's your choice. Just know that that's what you're dealing with. Or, fuck it, I'm done with that. And whatever it is, if you decide to slam the door shut on this, you got to decide that with your whole heart. And you got to make that decision 100% in here. To the point to where even if this person did come back, I'm not talking to them. Ask yourself that. If this person showed up in my inbox tomorrow, would I still shut him out? Okay? A decision needs to be made one way or the other, though. One way or the other. All right, y'all. Well, I feel like those were the messages that my Gemini family needed to hear, so I am going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget to check the description of the video if you would like to find out how to schedule a personal reading. All right? I'm out of here now, y'all. I will see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Stay blessed.